Alright guys, so we're going to do a position today. One of the common misconceptions that I hear about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is got to do with applying certain submissions, basic submissions like the triangle and like the arm bar from their back. And the common misconception is that you're just going to grab the individual and pick him up and slam him on the ground and so on and so forth. And you even see this in UFC fights. However, some of the things that we're going to talk about today will kind of illustrate how you deal with those type situations. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at, just for instance, if I'm in this type situation, I find myself in a triangle, but he's not quite closed in on me. If he's got a deep triangle where he's hipped out, he's going to actually choke me unconscious before I even get up. You can already start to hear my voice changing. But if I manage to kind of lock him in to where he doesn't have it really seated deeply, then I start coming up into here and I pick him up and then I can slam him on the ground. And the same thing can be said if he's hipped out into an arm bar. The same situation as well is that I can grab my own arm, pick him up, and then slam him on the ground. And you do see this in some entry-level Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournaments as well. However, one of the situations that I want you to see here is that I am not without options. So if I sit up in here, let's go to triangle first, and I'm not truly locked in yet, he's defending the arm, he's defending his neck, and he goes to sit up on me. As soon as he goes, all I'm going to do is underhook that leg. Once I underhook that leg, try and stand, there's no way. Because what happens is as he stands up, he stays locked into this position here. He cannot straighten his back to arch up because I've locked it behind his leg. The same thing can be said from the arm bar as well. So if I come out here and I go to an arm bar and I'm going for this arm, when he goes to stand, if I underhook that leg, all I'm going to do is pull that knee into my chest, and then if he tries to stand, he can't. His body is locked along that leg, so he can no longer lift. Now that's a basic way of trying to deal with this, to keep the submission and to be able to keep on the attack there. But one of the other misconceptions is knowing when to abandon a submission. It's the overall tactic that's being applied. So if I'm sitting in here and I go for this arm bar, if I'm sitting in here and let's say I didn't grab under this leg and I'm just kind of locked in and I'm applying it, maybe he's got his arm locked like this so that I can't apply the actual arm lock, and then he goes to sit up on me. One of the things that you see a lot of times is that this guy will just yank that arm out, especially in a no-gi, he'll just jerk up and yank it out. And then from here, I'm in a bad spot. The problem is that I don't have enough awareness to know that I'm in a bad spot, so when he yanks that out, the first time I begin to figure it out is when he's yanked it out and now I'm in a bad spot, I'm getting punched. So what I want to do is, if I'm in here and I'm locked into this arm bar, and this individual starts to sit up on me, the first and foremost, I should be looking to grab and get underhooks on that leg. If I don't have the ability to do that, then I need to know the limitations of my position. So when this guy goes to stand up and he goes to yank, from here, I'm immediately sitting up. And notice that I'm basically dropping into kind of a de la Riva. He had his feet together, so I ended up encircling both legs. But basically what I'm doing is I'm just sitting up. As soon as that arm starts coming out, I'm sitting up and I'm immediately grabbing the legs. At this point, I can now start sitting up and coming into passing his guard, and now I'm still in a dominant position. I'm still the one who's controlling the fight. So, one more time. We're sitting in here. I sit up, I go for this arm bar. He defends. He sits up on me. I don't underhook the leg. He yanks up. When I come up in here, I immediately get out of the way. From here, I lock in. And now I start coming in. Notice I keep my face protected. I keep it away the entire time. And now I start passing the guard. And I get into my next position. Submissions are great, But losing a position for the sake of a potential submission is a bad strategy. Remember, the overall goal is for you to be able to control the fight. It's not for you to get a submission. What I want to be able to do is control the fight. So as I break that arm becomes less useful. The overall goal is that I can break everything, eventually getting to the point where he's no longer going to be a threat to me. But if he sits up on me and he yanks that arm through, I'm not going to become so target fixated on that arm that I abandon everything else and then end up losing a position and end up staying on my back getting punched in the face. So as soon as he goes to sit up, I can feel his body building that pressure. I can feel it building that energy and getting ready to yank through. And this is something you particularly feel in no-gi. I'm already setting it up in my mind that if this guy builds up that pressure and starts to yank through, I'm sitting up on him. I'm grabbing those legs. I'm doing a takedown. I'm passing guard. So I'm already starting to sort through these thoughts. If I get the opportunity to underhook, then I can keep the submission. And I can keep him from standing up so that he doesn't have that ability to slam me. But keep in mind, there's an overall goal. It's about control. It's about staying in a position of dominance so that you can continue winning the fight. It's not only about submissions. So you guys think about that. Train hard.